rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawn. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one Chief Rocket, Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezy. And welcome to the Knicks at Night podcast. Man, y'all buckle up. Man, y'all buckle up. We have a lot to talk about. Y'all want this party started right? Y'all want this party started quickly, right? Blue tears, orange tears, orange tears. Bam, let's go. All right, now that we got all that out of the way, man, y'all buckle up. Man, y'all buckle up. Yo, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, man. Man, listen. So people have been hitting me all day about this Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks thing happening this summer. Right? And I know y'all don't want to hear it, but you got to. I know y'all don't want to hear it, but you got to. You got to at least hear this thing out. Right? Let me salute the chat. Let me salute to the chat. C-Mac is in the building. Travel Vibes. Mega NYK in the building. DSJ is in the building. All right. ATV. Chef NYK is in the building. All right. Will Salkin, peace, brother. David L is in the building. Okay. I see y'all. Rodney Atkins was good. So I've been getting hit up all day, man. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been researching this. It's kind of why I'm a little bit late tonight. Adam is in the building. I honestly didn't even know how to start. What I was going to do is write this thing out and just follow a script. And use all the sources and resources to follow up on this. Because, this time of year, everything is all about Knicks for clicks. Knicks for clicks. A lot of stuff is Knicks for clicks. This is the downtime of year for a lot of people. They don't have anything to talk about, so they include the Knicks in their videos for clicks. like they fan base is slow. They can't generate stuff, but they know the Knicks have a rabid and robust fan base. So they do videos and stuff for clicks because they know Knicks fans click on everything. They know Knicks fans are deep. Right? And I think YouTube might ding me for this. I hope not. I hope there's a way that I can do it without YouTube acting crazy. Right? I'm going to try to play this in fair use. I'm gonna try to do this in fair use, giving full credit to the organization that put this up. Don't want credit for anything. I just want to share this with Knicks fans. Yo. Hey, C-Mac, you hilarious. Appreciate you, though. I appreciate that. Hey, C-Mac, I appreciate that. C-Mac, I appreciate that. That was dope. C-Mac, that was fire. I appreciate you. So before I get started, DSJ says, that's why I'm not even on board with the conversation. Every time I hear sports media talk about the Knicks, my response is Michael Jackson's "Leave Me Alone." Yep. Hey, C-Mac, that was overwhelming what you did right there, bro. Hey, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Right. But here's the thing. So I'm gonna play this briefly and hope YouTube don't ban the channel. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hope that YouTube doesn't kick us off the internet, right? All right. So let me play this really quick. I hope y'all can hear it. Right. I'm gonna back it up just a tiny bit. I'm going to back it up just a tiny bit. And this right here is the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. So Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, if you're watching this, I want to give you guys credit. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this without YouTube going haywire. So I'm trying to give the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show all the credit and everything, but I feel like I have to play this, right? So I'm gonna play this, and I want y'all to listen. So if I get kicked off, I'll be back. Y'all know the vibe. But check out what my man says.
For a while, and I've been trying to push it off and kick it down the road. I don't want to talk about this until we saw how it ended for them. Now we can talk about it. The talk all year long has been Donovan's going to New York the first chance he gets. Like every time I talk to people around the league, it's, well, Donovan's going to New York. Donovan had told you that. At his introductory press conference, he said, I thought I was going home. I thought I was going to New York.
Bim. Hey, Mark, you say take the video off and play the audio? It's too late. I wish I had known that beforehand. I don't know. I'm learning. I'll do that next time. All right. All right. So further speculation into this is Donovan Mitchell and Allen Houston playing golf together. And I know that's a small thing. Right? I know that's a small thing. People play golf together all the time. Right? But I want to show y'all this because this is one thing, that is one thing, and then the dude that was speaking, he also wrote an article. This same guy also wrote an article about Donovan Mitchell going to the front office and saying, hey, I'm not re-signing. Trade me to the Knicks. Right? So Adam says that doesn't mean nothing. To some people, it may not mean, Adam, it might not mean anything to some, but to others, it might mean everything. And Travel Vibe says DM was coasting in New York all last summer. Right. But here's the thing about that Donovan Mitchell conversation, and this is what y'all said last year. Y'all said Donovan Mitchell got traded to wherever because he didn't demand a trade to the Knicks. And the same dude here that we saw on the video wrote an article saying the rumor around the league was that Donovan Mitchell went to his front office and said trade him directly to the Knicks. And I understand the rumor mill is going to run rampant and run wild. I know that. David L. says they trade him to Boston with our sad luck. Yeah. Yeah. What I want to say is about the Donovan Mitchell thing is would I personally like Donovan Mitchell to be a Knick? Yes. Right? But I think the bigger picture in this, and this is to my people like JJ, right? This is to my people like JJ. The bigger picture is not that Donovan Mitchell wants to come play for the Knicks, but it's the fact that the New York Knicks are now an attractive destination for superstars. And listen, don't come at me with Donovan Mitchell is not a superstar. That's aside from the point. Because for what you say is a star, I could say it's a mega star. The main line of thinking is the Knicks are now attractive. Should we debate about that? Should we debate about the Knicks being attractive? Should we debate about the Knicks being an attractive destination for the first time probably ever? Should we debate about that? Should we debate about the fact that the Knicks are an attractive destination for the first time ever? And on top of that, should we debate about the fact that the Knicks have the assets to go get whoever they want if that person wants to come here? And what I'm going to say is yes and yes. I honestly believe, and this is no cap, I honestly believe this organization can go out and get any non-clutch client in the NBA. any superstar in the NBA that's not clutch, I think we can go out and get them. I think the Knicks can go out and get any non-clutch player that we want. And the thing about that is y'all already understand about the clutch and CAA rivalry. It's just like a clutch organization is not going to be able to go out and get any CAA superstar that's out there. It's politics, it's part of it. Listen, you can't make people when people have become loyal to others, sometimes that means being disloyal to some. It's just how it works. It's just how it works. Right? It's just how the NBA inner workings are. Right? If you're the Lakers, you probably search for mostly clutch guys around the NBA to bring them in. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my man, JJ. JJ says, do we really have all these great trade assets? I'm not sure. Yeah. Yeah, JJ, listen. Yes. Yes. Because I'll give you a small example. I'll give you a small example. We look at RJ Barrett as a inefficient scoring young wing player with maybe upside, bad shooting, and all of that. Right? The Houston Rockets played a bunch of guards and wings that were worse than RJ and have less upside. So did the Spurs. So did the Pelicans. So did Portland. So did Detroit. So did Indiana. So did Charlotte. So did Atlanta. Right? So while we look at RJ with the red arrow pointing down, another organization may be looking at RJ with the arrow pointing up. A green arrow pointing up on RJ. Maybe they understand with a different coach in a different setting, RJ Barrett can reach those heights that people thought he could reach before draft night. It's how people think, right? All fans don't think the same. All organizations don't think the same. For instance, I'm down on Obi Toppin. Right. JJ says debatable. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. That's exactly what I'm saying to you, bro. Like when you say you don't know, I'm debating that. That's what I'm saying. For instance, is RJ Barrett better with look at RJ? What if RJ Barrett played for Cleveland when we played them? They rolled out Isaac Okoro, Chetty Osman, and Karis LeVert. And right now, I would not take Isaac Okoro, Chetty Osman, and Karis LeVert for RJ straight up. David L., would you take Chetty Osman, Karis LeVert, and the other kid, Isaac Okoro, for RJ? I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't take that. It's the saying, another man's junk is another man's treasure. Like the stuff we throw away, somebody will definitely come by and pick it up and be like, I can't even believe why they threw that away. Ultimately, what I'm getting at is 2 years ago, YouTubers were not dedicating videos. 2 years ago, YouTubers of other NBA teams were not talking about being threatened by the Knicks poaching their players. And today, YouTubers are posting videos about the Knicks poaching their players. You can feel the difference. You can sense the difference. I watched the Utah Jazz guy today do a show about Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks. The Utah Jazz guy did a show about a Cleveland Cavaliers guard going to the New York Knicks. And what that tells me is that the Knicks are relevant and attractive. And I understand everybody's not going to have the same opinion. And in this case, I didn't take a consensus. I'm only stating my opinion. In this case, I'm only stating my opinion in this case. I feel like the Knicks, by making the second round, by Jalen Brunson putting on a megastar performance in the playoffs, made the Knicks more attractive. Sherwin says, the Knicks are currently $5 million over the cap space. How are we getting all these stars? Relax, Sherwin. Relax. It's not all these stars. It's not all these stars. Relax, first of all. Right? I didn't say the Knicks are trading down and getting 5 guys. I need for once, listen, for once, I need y'all to listen to what I'm saying. Hear me out on this. Hear me out on this. For once, man, I want y'all to listen to what I'm saying. Like, hear me. Don't assume what I'm saying, or don't think that I have a deeper meaning to such and such. What I'm saying to you, I'm just saying it to you plainly. And maybe I'm doing that for once. Maybe for once I'm just stating stuff plain. Right? I'm not perfect. But the Knicks played basketball in May. The Knicks played basketball in May, and Jalen Brunson looked like a superstar. The Knicks are on the radar. I'm getting calls now from people I hadn't talked to in years about how the Knicks look attractive. But about 85% of the Knicks fans I talk to, you know what they say? Nah, we still a lottery team. Let me see what my man Sherwin says. Sherwin says one of the more controversial elements of the new CBA is the second luxury tax apron that will penalize teams who go over the tax line by $17.5 million. Yeah, the second tax apron, right? The second tax apron. And Sherwin says we are top 4 poorest team in the NBA. I don't know what that means. I don't know what y'all talking about there. If y'all can explain that, man, I'll gladly jump in on that conversation. Right? But what I'm saying to you guys is this. I believe the Knicks are attractive. That's my belief. And I also believe that the Knicks have young assets. And I also believe that the Knicks have multiple draft picks that they can use at their disposal to get the star that they want. Listen, I ain't even gonna lie to you. There is no star out there, period, that is unattainable to the Knicks if it's all about the assets. Once politics get involved, then of course. But if we're just talking about assets, the Knicks can go get who they want. I believe the Knicks can go get whoever they want. If we're talking about politics aside, right? If it's not a clutch thing or a CAA thing, like for to be honest with you, I think the Knicks can go get Giannis right now if they wanted to. They have the assets. They do. They have the assets right now to go get who they want. I believe if LeBron wasn't clutch, they could go get LeBron James right now if they wanted to. I believe they could go get Kevin Durant right now if they wanted to. If they wanted to. Right? When I look back at what the Pelicans actually paid for Anthony Davis, I think to myself, can the Knicks beat that right now? And I would say yes. Sure, Brandon Ingram is better than any player that we have, right? But outside of Brunson, outside of Randall, but just a bunch of young pieces and like 4 firsts and some pick swaps, the Knicks can beat that. Knicks can beat that. That's nothing. And my man JJ says, we don't have a blue chip young trade asset. Right. I agree with you, because if we had a young blue chip asset, why would we need to trade for one? If we already had a young blue chipper, why would we need to trade for one? I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. And JJ also says, so why Cleveland take the trade offer from Utah over the Knicks young players? Well, It wasn't Cleveland taking a trade. It was Utah taking a trade. And my belief is Utah was never going to trade with the Knicks anyway because of politics. You can't have a star player walk into your front office and demand his destination and be held hostage, for one, right? The Utah Jazz sent a message to star players around the league that you're just not going to walk into any one of the 30 front offices and demand to be traded to a certain place. Right? They're not gonna because if the Utah Jazz would have folded, because Donovan Mitchell didn't, for what we know, Donovan Mitchell didn't ask to be traded. The Utah Jazz just started a rebuild. For one, we don't know that, we don't think Donovan Mitchell told Danny Ainge to trade him to the Knicks. For one, and two, the first time a NBA superstar demands that thing and it happens, it's going to set off a precedent around the league. Right now, you're talking Bradley Beal is like, trade me to Chicago, and then Zach LaVine is like, trade me to the Lakers, and then Damian Lillard is trade me to Golden State, and everybody's using the excuse, I want to play closer to home. Now, when Donovan Mitchell does get traded to the Knicks, it's going to open a floodgate. But just like Sherwin said so eloquently about 5 or 6 comments ago, the new CBA is in place, so it's going to limit that. So that's why things happening this summer is paramount. That's why things happening this summer is paramount. And just like IKBM Dre said, the Utah Jazz were not dealing in good faith at all. It generally, and listen, I know negotiations. I don't know NBA negotiations, and y'all don't either. So don't pretend like you do when I know you don't. Y'all don't know NBA negotiations. I don't either. All we can go by is what we see in the media, in the paper. Right? But I know corporate negotiations. And I know when one corporation wants something from another corporation, 2 things are going to happen. Either the 2 corporations are going to negotiate in good faith, or that one corporation is going to leave with a bitter taste in their mouth, go to the bank, borrow the money, and buy the other corporation. And y'all already know what that term is. When one corporation tries to negotiate with another, they come away with ill will. They go to the bank and get money, and they go buy the other corporation. Y'all already know what the saying is. They take them over hostilely. Dre, what's good, boss?
Ain't nothing. I'm just chilling. I wanted to paint more of a picture into why you think the Knicks are an attractive destination, but or to just state how I feel how they're an attractive destination.
Okay.
We've never necessarily had a superstar or a guy at that level that's also a guy that's someone that someone wants to play with, like someone that's shown out on the highest level, right? Performed at the highest level, and we've never had that at the same time while having relatively clean books,
Right.
while having a ton of draft picks.
And having playoff success all at the
Yes,
same time.
we've never had that. When we had Melo, we had multiple terrible contracts.
Yes.
We had no draft picks to offer
No.
because we flipped them. Whenever we did have draft picks, we flipped them for a terrible contract out of a panic move for like Bargnani, for
Yeah.
example.
Thank you, Leon Rose.
And And to that point, we were never ever really an attractive destination in terms of guys around the league seeing somewhere that's actually plausible, somewhere you can actually get to. We were put in scenarios where we couldn't even throw assets towards a guy. Like guys around the league wanted to play with Melo, but there was no feasible way for them to get here.
Right.
No logical way for them to get here.
Right.
Like, what are we gonna do? Like,
We were painted in a corner.
there was no way to get up out of that Amari contract.
No.
We also blew a ton of draft picks in that time.
Yes.
We tried to get some sort of fringe guy we thought we were buying low on in Bargnani with whatever our last pick that we had available. That didn't work.
Last 2 picks. It was 2 picks now.
Yeah, it was a first and a second, frenzy, I believe. So it was there. We've never been in a scenario like this where to that point, we got Brunson out of free agency. We didn't give up really anything for him.
Right.
That just multiplies the value effect and how it helps us cap wise in terms of absorbing a large contract.
Right.
So in terms of like the idea of being attractive and like it being feasible and a guy wanting to come here and he knows that it's actually feasible to happen.
Right.
Like part of it actually being realistic to happen rolls the ball in terms of making yourself attractive. Like we could be the same Knicks right now, and if we have we have 3 terrible contracts on the roster, we have no draft picks. How are we attractive if we just have Brunson? It's like the Dame Lillard effect. Like they had multiple terrible contracts. They had minimal picks up until now, and it made it harder for them to even attract someone near Dame's level on that roster, on that team, in terms of just making a trade happen. And now we're painted in a scenario where we're an attractive destination, not only just because it's New York City.
Right.
We have a star here that's ascending.
Okay.
That might get to top 10 player of the league type status.
Okay.
He's ascending to that type. His trajectory is that. While we have relatively clear books coming into the summer, while we have tons of picks.
Right.
And to that point, we might overvalue whatever our young players are. Around the league, they don't view them as overrated or underrated. They just view them as a specific type of value.
Right.
And let's call a spade. Even though Quickly struggled, there's a ton of teams that would love a Quickly on their team.
Right now. Right.
If we offer Quickly for a first rounder, a mid first rounder, do you know how many teams would jump? Like,
done.
Teams would jump and just, you want this 13 pick? We'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Give us Quickly.
And they'll probably try to give us a player also.
Right. So So it's one of those things where we're a destination. Like when we were trying to be in the LeBron sweepstakes, we weren't a destination that was realistic because number one, like we tried to clear the books, but we never had anyone young that LeBron wanted to play with. Who we had on that roster at the time? Easy in 09, 2010.
No one. Remember the thing is with LeBron, we cleared everything because LeBron said he didn't want to go anywhere where he was going to be by himself. Remember that? That's the reason why he left Cleveland.
Yep.
Right? So going into that 2010 summer, you knew you had to clear every penny off your books to sign LeBron and whoever else he wanted. You feel me? You had to go to LeBron like, hey, Bron, listen, we got Amari. Hey, Bron, listen, we got such and such. Because remember, LeBron wanted Amari in Cleveland and Cleveland didn't do it. They traded for Anton Jameson.
Cleveland didn't want to trade J.J. Hickson
Yep.
for
J.J.
Amari.
Hickson. Yep. They didn't want to trade J.J. Hickson out of North Carolina State, a promising young big, for Amari, right? And neither one of those dudes wound up being anything beyond 2010. Well, Amari for a little bit.
Amari, if Amari would have had made it to the Cavs, it would have been in like 08.
Yeah.
And they would have had a 2.5 year stretch, bare minimum. And I feel like two and a half. Because it would have been 2008. Like the trade, they were looking at it in 2008. And Braun stayed there for 08, 09, 10, 010. And then he played well. Amari played well into 2010, 2011. Then he got hurt like halfway through the year.
We're talking about with the Knicks, yeah.
Yeah, so that was like basically a 2.5 year window.
Okay.
If LeBron were to stay. And knowing LeBron in 09, 08, when he was at his athletic peak, they would have went to the finals with Amari for sure.
Well, the athletic peak thing. Let me, bro. I think LeBron is in his prime.
Oh, Miami.
In Miami, yeah, in the steroid years, I like to call them. And the steroid years is what I call him. And I'm not saying LeBron is on the juice. I'm just saying he looked like an android.
I would say he was like a better all around athlete then. Like he was heavier, but it was still a gazelle. But I think he jumped higher and was faster on the Cavs. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
He was more of a explosive athlete on the Cavs, where LeBron just became an all around just tank, a flying tank.
Yes. Yes. And so real quick, the reason why I think there is validity to the Donovan Mitchell, to the Knicks thing this summer is because in 2011, when LeBron left, Dan Gilbert said he'll never let another player hold his franchise hostage ever again. Right? And he went on to say that he should have traded LeBron in 2008 to whomever and got multiple resources for LeBron as opposed to letting LeBron walk out of the door for free.
Yeah. Well, at the time, but it worked out great for him because if he had traded LeBron, he definitely would not have came back to win him a title after the fact.
But he didn't. But mind you,
but at the time, he was angry.
Yeah, he said that in 2011, right? Yeah. And LeBron was in Miami. And so I understand where he's coming from, but I still think it's true what he said.
Yeah, it's true. It's true for a guy that's not anywhere near LeBron's stature. That's
you know how I know it's true?
Yeah.
Because he traded Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
Chat, y'all remember that? Yeah, y'all remember that, chat?
Kyrie was like either me or LeBron, and he was like, bye.
Yeah, you remember the contract thing? I don't know. I want to play this thing out. Oh, Kyrie's with the Celtics now. Yeah. So my thing is as the one linchpin is the Knicks have valuable assets, right? The second thing to that is and I want to state it so the Knicks have valuable assets. The second thing is that organization does not want to be left holding the bag ever again. Right?
Oh, yeah. They don't want to be at the wedding.
Yeah. Even though the NBA stepped in and gave them 1,000 number one overall picks to help them ease the pain of LeBron leaving, right? They don't want to go through that again. I don't think Cleveland wants to go through that again. Right? So now with 2 years left and a player option, do you trade Donovan Mitchell this summer and just
wipe your hands of it?
Or do you wait till next summer when the CBA kicks in And when a bunch of guys may be trying to move, the thing I'm getting at is this. In this whirlwind summer of superstars going everywhere, and it's gonna happen. All it takes is for a butterfly to flap his wings in order for it to be high tides on another part of the world. The butterfly effect. Right? What I'm saying is all it takes is for one star to change teams. All it takes is Zion to Portland, right? Zion to Portland for the number 3 pick and all of that stuff, blah, 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 boom, 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 however New Orleans and Portland work it out, right, to happen. Now everybody starts shuffling chairs.
Ball starts rolling.
Right. Because LeBron, right now, he's going to play next year. LeBron going to play. But LeBron sent a message to the Lakers like, y'all better do something this summer. Or I'm going to stomp my foot.
Yeah, this is going to be, and he's also saying, like, yo, this is going to be my last year out here because when my son come in,
I'm going to be a free agent so I can go where he at.
So if you want to win the title, it's going to be your last chance with me on this team.
Yep. So if you're Cleveland, do you wait and try to look like the tough guy? I ain't gonna let nobody push me around. You know what I'm saying? Or do you get ahead of the curb and get what you can get while the tables, it's like those first few hands of blackjack. Do you get that?
Like pull that KP trade that we pulled?
Yeah. Before the market gets flooded. Because ideally, in a perfect world, and if I'm Kobe Altman, I trade Donovan Mitchell this summer, get a bunch of assets back. I mean, I'm going to absolutely rob the Knicks in a Donovan Mitchell trade. And the Knicks are going to pay it because they don't want to go through this thing 2 years in a row and back again for a second year in a row, ultimately looking at the following summer with a third team in a third trade scenario. They don't want to do that. That's just too much, right? If I'm Cleveland, I trade Donovan Mitchell and I rob the Knicks. I'm stick them up.
Give it here.
Yep. I'm going to stick up the Knicks, right? And then I'm going to, when everybody else is on the market, I'm going to see what I can get for Jarrett Allen. But what you don't want to do is have Donovan wait, let the market get flooded, and then try to move Jarrett Allen and Donovan Mitchell.
It'll be, for them, it'll be like a means to pivot and build up around Mobley and Garland and tool up for them so they can thrive for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
And now you have conventional lineups.
And then you can flip whatever you got for whatever you gave up for Donovan Mitchell. You can flip that for another star that wants to be in Cleveland that you can max and all this. But be right back. 1 second, Freezy. But before you answer JJ's question, I want to be back for that.
No, I got you. Okay. So JJ says, which young players is our best trade asset? So JJ, when you look at it in theory, while we don't have a standout guy, ultimately it depends on the team you're trading with. Right? It depends on the team you're trading with. Right? So say, for instance, you're dealing with the Golden State Warriors. Right? Say you're dealing with the Warriors. BT, what's good, man? Say you're dealing with the Golden State Warriors, right? All right, so if you're dealing with the Warriors, right, then RJ Barrett is not your best asset to them. They would be more interested in Quickly and Mitchell Robinson, right? Think about what they get. Think about what they get from their center position. Nothing offensively, just defense. Mitch is a tremendous upgrade over Kevon Looney, right? So if we're trading with Golden State, I think Golden State would even do Jonathan Kuminga for Mitchell Robinson. Right? I think they would consider something like that. Because Mitch is on a descending, controllable contract for the next 3 seasons. Right? When Mitch's contract is over with Golden State, it'll be at about $12 million. So what that means is Golden State can pay Clay, Draymond, Steph, all of these guys, right? They can pay all of them, right? Because Mitch's contract will be coming down. So he would be a valuable asset to them, right? But say Karl Anthony Towns is your target. Say it's Minnesota. Right? Now, Mitch is off the table because they already have 2 centers that can't play together. They don't need Mitch. Right? They just need consistency to build around Anthony Edwards. Right? So if you're trading with Minnesota, Minnesota's going to want quickly. They're going to want Obi to play the 4 to stretch the floor with Ant, and they'll need RJ Barrett. Right? I don't know exactly what the deal will look like. But when it comes to, the young assets, it ultimately depends on what team is wanting what. And do you have the flexibility in your trading packages? It depends on the flexibility in your trade packages, with the teams that you're dealing with. Right? Like, say, for instance, if Brooklyn is the trade partner, right? Brooklyn won't need RJ Barrett. Brooklyn won't need Mitch. But Brooklyn would definitely want Grimes and Quickly and probably Miles McBride. You know what I'm saying? So while we don't have a treasure trove of young assets, we do have quality assets that we can use to manipulate and grease any trade, as opposed to us saying, this is what we have. 29 other teams, take it or leave it. You feel me? So as opposed to it be take it or leave it, like Golden State is Mitch for Kuminga. Minnesota, it's Quickly, Grimes, RJ, Obi. Those young cats, you put them around Anthony Edwards, you just totally added. Now you have a young core to go around Anthony Edwards, right? All of them developing together, and it's Ant's team, right? So while we don't have that one standout guy, like we don't have a Evan Mobley, but in theory, what we have is better than having Evan Mobley. In theory, right? Because even though Evan Mobley's a stud, he's still just one guy, right? He's still, even if Evan Mobley turns into Chris Bosh, even if Evan Mobley turns into 24 and 12 and 6 assists, you still are going to get, if you give them Obi's going to give you 18 and 8, right? RJ's going to give you 20 and something. Quickly is going to diversify your backcourt. And Grimes is going to be that defender that they definitely need, and eventually 3-point shooting. You feel, Dre? You feel what I'm getting at about how?
Yeah, I'm feeling it because, like, ultimately, when we talk about these young guys, they're still young and malleable. They're not
Right.
stuck in being what they are forever. If
Right.
they do they're more primed to take a step in progression than anything else
Right.
at this point.
Right. Would you do Mitch for Kuminga?
Yeah, yeah.
Golden
But
State, I don't think Golden State would do it.
I don't think they would do it because number one, they have Looney under a pretty reasonable contract, and Mitch
Yeah,
makes more money.
he
Plus
like
they're
$6 million something.
yeah, and they make and they're well over the cap, like well over these
They're
average
way
aprons.
way over the cap, right?
So like when we talk about these things, that it would have to be a cap move and a talent move at the same time for them.
Yeah,
It'd have to give them cap relief and give them talent.
yeah. Yeah,
and it would be the reverse because Mitch makes so much more money than Kaminga.
but
They'd
his
have to throw in
contract is
someone else.
descending though. Like next year is like
It's
what
descending, but like
14 something
yeah,
something.
yeah, but Kaminga's still on a rookie deal, so
Yeah. Yeah, I would consider this in the Golden State for one. For one, I think we all know they have to trade Jordan Poole.
oh yeah, that's almost I think that's almost a given.
That's a given.
Like in a Jordan Poole deal, Kaminga might be the sweetener to
Yeah,
even get him to go.
yeah, yeah. Um, um, yeah. Because Moses Moody is just about ready. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, he's progressing into the role player that the Warriors need. Smart, athletic enough, and can hit the corner three. They don't need nothing else from that position at this current juncture in Steph Curry's career.
Right, because
Just be just be smart. Don't make mistakes. Hit your open shots. Play defense.
they have what about 2 more years? You think?
Well, the way modern medicine is going, Freezy, I don't know. It might be more than 2 years. Because like some guys take care of their bodies to the nth degree, like LeBron. And
Right,
LeBron's game is way more physical than Steph's. Steph
right.
ultimately he takes care of his body in
Yeah,
more of a marathon runners type way.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
so, barring any major injury, I don't see Steph falling off for the next maybe 3 years, three
I got
3 years.
I gotta put a hoodie on. Hold, I'll be right back. I'll be
All right,
right back.
what y'all think, chat? Who in the chat? Who do you think is our most valuable young player? Sure. Ah, Obi is one of those guys that might give you an unimpactful 18 and 18 if he plays 30 minutes a night, just off of his offensive talent. It might not be it might not be the most impactful 18 and 8, but it'll happen if he plays 30 minutes. He's an accumulator ultimately. If he plays on a team with a fast enough pace, like if he was on the Pacers with a point guard like Halliburton that's just a spin doctor with the basketball, he could get to 18 and 8 easily if he played 31, 32 minutes a night. Now, will it be high high leverage points? No. No, I don't believe that. Trevor Keels. You guys are funny. I might have more value to the Knicks than Trevor Keels. Let me see this. JJ, I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna have to agree with you just because of the fact he's not making any money yet, and he's shown the ability to take over the game with his shooting or passing. It's just it never really showed up in the playoffs. But he's also a very, very great defender for his position and his size. So like and a contender would definitely love to have someone like Quickly and try to get him on a cost control type deal. I mean, he wasn't doing it against the Cavs either, JJ. Unfortunately, just didn't have it these playoffs, and we needed it. We needed those 15 to 17 points. Heck, there's a lot of guys in the league that can get 15 points. It's just about weighing the positives and the negatives, though. There are a ton of guys in the league that can get 15 to 20 points.
Right, right. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I was just vibing with the chat, asking them who do they think is our most valuable young player, and I saw YC. It it depends because ultimately when we talk about value, you got
Okay.
to weigh in their contracts too.
Yeah.
So when you weigh it that way, IQ is more valuable than RJ at this current juncture, just because RJ's contract is going to kick in. Now, if RJ takes that big leap in year 5, that could change the entire trajectory or how he's viewed around the league
Right.
as value.
Okay.
But yeah, you can go ahead, Freezy, if you have something to say.
Nah, go ahead, bro.
Let me see.
Oh no,
Mo-
you reading the chat. I was going to question you about something. Oh,
yeah,
I thought you were on a
yeah. Let me
on
read one more thing from the chat. I seen this too, Freezy. Like there might be a scenario where Donovan Mitchell says, regardless, I'm not going. Like he pulls a Kawhi and says, I'm not gonna resign no matter where I go unless it's the Knicks.
yeah.
And then teams ultimately we just wait it out and teams just send out half-ass deals for him to use him as like a mercenary like Kawhi. And then he ultimately signs in New York anyway. That could be a thing. But the pushback on that is knowing these guys, they value those extra years on those birds rights type deals. They value the extra money. Like
Mhm.
he's gonna want that $300 million deal that Tatum's gonna get.
Okay. Well, play like it.
Well, yeah,
Play like it for one. Tatum's there because Tatum's all universe, right?
yeah. Well, this is what makes it a little bit confusing, JJ, because for RJ had 3 terrible shooting games,
Right.
which weighed down his better games by a
The other
ton.
8 games, yeah,
So
yeah,
he had a 2 for 12, a 1 for 11, a 1 for 10.
right.
That weighs it down so much badly, so
Yes,
much
but
more.
those first 2 playoff games, oh my
Horror-
god.
But the second game, he played well outside of just shooting.
No, no. I'm talking about shooting.
Oh, okay, right.
Just talking about yeah, just talking about shooting. That's all.
Because if you were to just remove 1 or 2 of those games, his shooting goes from 43% to like 46, 47
Yeah.
over the course of the playoffs, which is, you can't just extract what you want all the time, but it kind of alters your perspective on it a bit.
I'm with JJ on that some,
Yeah,
and the reason why I'm with JJ on the playoff numbers is because this is who RJ Barrett has been his whole career.
up and down.
Up and down, the seas up and down, up and down. So I'm with JJ on that, but I do understand where you're coming from, Dre. I mentioned it too, but this is who RJ Barrett is, and to expect him to be anything other that he has traditionally been is on you. It's not on
Yeah,
RJ.
I mean, yeah. And to be fair, like he had the 2 bad games, and he had what 8, 9 straight good games.
Yeah, and chat. The funny thing about it is when I keep it real with y'all. Like when I keep it's funny. It's funny that like when I keep it real, people say I'm wishy washy. Oh, now you hate RJ. Wait a minute. I just said RJ
You
is
just
streaky.
acknowledge what happened.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Uncle Freezy, you with there you go. There you go. He flipping again. No, I'm just telling the truth. RJ Barrett is streaky, and y'all know it.
I know it, man.
What happens is either y'all want me to praise RJ Barrett regardless what happens, or hate RJ Barrett regardless what happens. And the fact when you tell the truth about certain players, people have this tendency to only hear what they feel like hearing.
Yep. And also to the point with RJ, I think this is like an understated part of his development.
Okay.
And prior years, if he wasn't shooting well, he wasn't really giving you anything.
Right.
In the playoffs, he played solid defense to really good defense for a majority of the time in both series. He had some bouts of playmaking, and he was rebounding the ball.
Okay.
In prior iterations of RJ, he wasn't passing. He wasn't consistently getting boards. He wasn't consistently giving effort on defense.
No
So
to all of
so
those.
so when you compile that with a bad shooting game, it gets even worse.
Yep.
But at least he's attempting to mitigate his off shooting nights
Right.
if he has them. So that's credit to him. Now I'm going to expect way more consistency because we're talking about year 5 now. So if he's still here on this team,
But that's on you.
Yeah, that's on me.
Yeah. Now, if you don't get that, that's not RJ's fault.
Well, that's not RJ's fault, but I'm gonna be on here cussing up a storm.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is in 4 years, RJ ain't showed you no signs of being consistent
Nope.
ever.
The only time he did, he like gashed his own hand after having like a 10 to 15 game stretch this year.
Yeah,
And then,
Luka did that though.
Indirectly, he was like Luka reached in, but he slapped RJ's own hand into.
Oh
his
yeah,
other
you're
hand,
right. Yeah, you're right.
and
Yeah,
then
you're right.
he
Yeah, I
cut
saw that.
himself. But the swipe caused that force to even happen.
Yeah. But that was Luka's fault, I think. But
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
The
Yeah.
swipe made it happen. So ultimately, yeah, it was Luka's fault.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but listen, man, I'm not expecting Quickly to be anything other than what he normally is, but to a greater extent. Like Quickly is inconsistent. I think his career is going to be wildly inconsistent, but the highs are going to be so high that he's going to look like a superstar on some nights. And some nights, I think Quickly's offense is going to render him unplayable.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That's my prediction for him. And the things that you see for Obi, I don't. For instance, a zebra is not a horse, right? It's not. Keith Turner, am I lying? Keith Turner, am I lying? A zebra is not a horse, right? They're part of the same family, but they are not the same.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A zebra is not a horse. There is the horses, and then there's that equine part of the family, and then zebras are over here all by themselves. So what I'm saying about Obi is this. I think Obi, given opportunity, will do more of the same stuff he's been doing, but just with greater minutes.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like instead of taking 4 threes a game, once he gets 30 minutes, he's gonna be taking like 7.5, 8 threes a game. He's gonna get you instead of on a nightly basis, instead of getting you 2 rebounds, he'll get you say 7 or 8 rebounds. You know what I mean? But I don't think he's gonna change who he is.
Right.
I don't think they can at this point. And I think also Quentin Grimes is also in that vein. Like we expect him to be a certain thing. But if he don't show us anything different in year 3, the expectations for us should be
tempered.
Yeah.
Right. I agree, Freezy.
Yeah.
And ultimately, like his archetype, usually for what Grimes is, unless he's gonna try to turn into being more on ball, his archetype usually gets to its floor pretty soon. Like if you're 3-and-D, you usually figure out the 3-and-D really early.
Yep. I think he's
You don't figure out like the playmaking and all that stuff. That takes 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
Unless you're a wonder child like Luka or something.
Yeah. I think right now, I hope this is not the case. But because at the beginning of the year, I thought my man was going to be something greater than what he was showing. But during that Cleveland series, he looked like Courtney Lee to me.
Yeah, passive. But I want to say, like, I really don't. I think it might be coaching that's at play in some regards. But ultimately, you're on the court, so you have to be assertive.
Yeah.
But I also feel like our offense doesn't lend itself to empowering younger players to figure out themselves, unless Tibbs seeks and tells you, "Yo, you have to be this isolation player," which he does so quickly.
I think he hides too much.
He runs away from the ball.
Yeah, I think he hides too much, man.
But I think like that mentality of being on pins and needles and not wanting to make mistakes,
Right.
that might be an extension of Tibbs too.
Mm.
A little bit, just a little bit. But sometimes pressure busts pipes. And
Yeah.
Pressure makes diamonds.
Yeah.
And at that moment, it busted a pipe for Grimes.
Yeah. How come y'all don't ever say pressure makes oil? Oil is more valuable than diamonds, bro. You know what I'm saying? Nobody said pressure makes oil.
I never heard that one before.
Yeah, pressure makes oil, bro. Yeah,
Pressure makes oil.
yeah, yeah.
You can
Some
do
of
it with
us,
a lot with oil. So
yeah, yeah,
let me
man.
see. Let's freezy. Want to answer Keith Turner's question?
Keep
Oh,
turning.
King Angie in the building.
Oh boy, Donovan Mitchell brought him out of the woodwork.
Might have to explain that to him, freezy, or he can rewind it as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna say what Keith Turner says. What do y'all see in Grimes? Somebody please explain that one. Um, what I'm gonna say with Grimes is, um, the two guard spot has been so bad for so long for us that either it's been all offense or all streaky shooting or some type of flaw, gaping hole.
Mhm.
With Grimes, even though he doesn't give you a ton of offense, you feel like the position is in safe hands, right? So it's like it's not like he is the greatest shooting guard we've ever had, but the fact that he's holding it down at such a young age makes us feel secure. You know what I'm saying? That's my feeling on it. Like, I think he has upside, but man,
The lows are disappointing. Like you out
yeah,
there
man,
playing 35 minutes and you just want to take 3 shots, bro.
right. And then it's not like 3 shots spread out. It's like one trip, 2 trips down the floor, he take 3 shots, and then the other 34 minutes
You don't see him.
at all.
He catch the ball and move
Yes, to Mitch. I saw
it.
him jump in
Dump
the
down,
air.
dump downs.
I saw him jump in the air and throw the ball off Mitch's shoulder in Charlotte. Mitch, like, man, what you doing? Like, you know how Mitch be at the top of the key for the dribble handoff, right? Grimes come
Yeah.
get the dribble handoff. Mitch about to take off for the rim. What was that?
hmm
You that nervous with the ball, bro?
It's he gets very fidgety at times. But but in the times when he has confidence, he's out there bouncing with the ball.
Yeah, yeah. Go out there. He goes out and gets the ball. He did that in Charlotte. Like, he was, man.
Did
He
that
was
in Orlando, remember?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But not often enough for us to think. Like, for instance, is does he step up his level of competition, or is he just comfortable playing around kids?
Hmm. Does he have the dog to play against guys that are veterans, have been there season? And he's just like, I don't care that you've been here and you got this established name.
Yeah.
I'm gonna answer King Angie's question. We're mentioning this because there's rumors going about that Donovan Mitchell is not gonna re-sign with the Cavs. And going by past history with the Cavs, they've been proactive in terms of moving players that are being iffy or wishy-washy in terms of wanting to stay.
Yeah.
So if they put out any feelers or they try to say, like, I might want to go somewhere else or be on another team, they ship you out immediately because they're not trying to have the LeBron situation all over again where they just lose them for nothing.
And Kyrie. Yep.
Yep.
Well,
they didn't lose Kyrie for nothing. They traded him for Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I'm talking about. Yeah. You're right. But I'm talking about the Kyrie situation where he didn't commit long term,
Right.
and they hurried up and got him out of there.
Like, nah, we maximizing this LeBron window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think the Knicks think that Grimes is the the two guard of the future. And the reason why I say that is because if they did, you wouldn't hear all of these rumors about them trying to upgrade the two.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think they view him as a means to an end. Like they like him. They would hope he progresses and turns into this lockdown player that you can rely on. Like if Grimes turned into Kentavious Caldwell Pope, we would love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it was that, nothing more, nothing less.
Right. Right.
But we'll see. He's still growing. Maybe he's still here. Maybe he's not. But yeah,
What's your thoughts on it? You think he gone in a Donovan Mitchell trade?
if it had to be a Donovan Mitchell trade, they're definitely taking him.
Yeah.
They're definitely taking him because number one, he plays the same position, so they're immediately filling a hole.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, if they want to like get another star player, they can go put it at the small forward or at the center if they move off of Jared Allen or even at the power forward where he can play with Mobley and move Mobley to the 5.
Right.
So it's one of those things where he's probably him and IQ are probably at the highest priority, mostly because they're on rookie deals still. Quickly's gonna get paid, but Grimes has like another year before you have to even think about extension.
Yeah. His progression is slow.
Well, I was gonna answer this question, JJ. It's hard to say this, but he didn't really have the requisite volume for me to put that much stock into it because he's not taking 7 threes a game.
Yeah.
He's not putting up like Caldwell Pope like numbers
And he's not
in
taking
terms
10
of
shots.
volume. So it's easier when you're cherry picking your shots.
Right.
It's easier to look more efficient when you're getting a turnover trying to get a dump down instead of like attacking the rim like you're
Right.
supposed to.
Right. It's easy when you are taking a shooting guard taking 2 shots per quarter. Your team, you're a starter taking 10% of your team's shots per game, less than 10% of your team's shot. Well, no, it's not less than 10%. I'm sorry. 10% of your team's shots per game. He takes 8.5 shots a game, right? And he's shooting 47% from the floor, 46.8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Those are good numbers, absolutely good numbers. But we want more than what's his shot total per game?
So, say
I'll
for
tell you right
instance, if
now.
he was,
He only takes 8 shots per game this regular
yeah,
season. Eight.
yeah,
8
that's
shots.
that's the point I'm getting at. If it was double that on this efficiency, now we talking. He's a
Like if he
shooting
was
guard that doesn't shoot, bro.
if he was at 12 shots per game, but part of that has to do with him being David L. We're about to watch the Nuggets and the Nuggets spread around the ball like it's an equal opportunity offense, relatively speaking. So like you'll see guys like Kentavious Caldwell Pope put up 15 and not really blink about it, or you'll see Michael Porter Jr. put up whatever it is that he puts up. It's an equal opportunity offense, and I feel like this is the thing I wanted to mention about this offense. Unless you're a seasoned role player for numerous years
Yeah.
and you know that role, it's hard to be very consistent when you're only getting 7, 8 shots a game.
And what I
But it's
know,
also easier when it's lower volume when you're cherry picking. It's a give and take because you're not gonna expect those like the highs where you see Grimes get 21, 22. It's more few and far in between because he's not getting in rhythm enough to even do that or even putting up enough shots to do that.
yeah. And what I noticed over history, because ultimately I think there is a real possibility Quentin Grimes is going to be Tony Snell.
Or that
Right?
I don't want that for him.
Hey man, if it walked like a duck, you know, it's
I don't want that for him, Freezy.
But if he act like it, walk like it, talk like it, smell like it.
Well, I'm gonna say this to that point. I need Tibbs to put more trust in him to be able to initiate offense at the beginning of the shot clock, not on just closeouts. It's not fair. Like he needs to ease himself in. Like you need to artificially create ways to ease a young player into a game because young players don't have it all the way there all the time. In my mind, there are some things that you want him to grab the bull by the horns, ultimately, but he's just not there mentally. And as a coach, it's your job to make the lives and to empower the younger players, which we all know Tibbs don't do that. That's just not him.
Yeah. He Tony Snell, bro. That's what I mean. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. I don't want to do him like that, bro. I don't.
Oh my god, that's rude, man.
No, I don't want to do him like that, man. But at some point, the reason why Jimmy Butler was good, look, like for instance, right? Y'all know I'm a basketball historian.
For sure.
Right. I'm a basketball, like JJ Manchild, man. And Bully, y'all know I'm a basketball historian, right? Here's my thing. I remember Carmelo Anthony was about to become a free agent, right? And he was in Chicago. And the Bulls were as hot as fish grease, right? But Melo, knowing that this is the summer when Melo can become an unrestricted free agent. He can get 5 for 125 from the Knicks or 4 from 100 from any other team, right?
I remember the extension. And
Yep.
Derrick Rose didn't want to recruit him. Like he just
Yep. But before that happens, right? Every team, and I don't know if y'all remember this or not, but every team that had cap space and interest in Melo, he would go and they gym and shoot the freaking man. Listen.
Oh yeah, he was tearing up the Bulls.
He went at that Chicago game against Tony Snell and Luol Deng, and mind you, Luol Deng was an excellent defender, right? Mm-hmm. when healthy, he was an excellent defender, right? That's when they had Deng and Taj and Snell and Bogans and Brewer and all these guys they could rotate in on Melo, right? Right. Yeah, y'all, man. Y'all smash that like button.
I didn't read the back half of that sentence. My bad. Still funny though.
Yeah. Coach was good, man. But Tom Thibodeau, man, Melo was giving out 8-piece nuggets to every defender that Tom Thibodeau had, right? And he looks down at the bench and he sees Jimmy Butler. And he turned his back, right? He's like, oh, God, I ain't got nobody out here. And Jimmy Butler was like, what you mean you ain't got nobody? And you could hear Jimmy Butler yelling at Tibbs, right? And Tibbs starts shaking and looking at Jimmy Butler like, I need somebody. I like that. Yeah, listen. In case y'all don't know, Tom Thibodeau likes people that's assertive and push back. It's the reason why RJ and Quickly, you know what I'm saying, got minutes from day one, and Obi Toppin, who doesn't push back naturally, doesn't get run. Right? I don't know if y'all know this. I know this. I've been watching Tibbs for a long time. Everybody, Tom Thibodeau put on Melo. Melo would score 8 points at a time, and Tibbs had to change him off, switch him up. Right? He put Taj on him for size. He went run Taj like Taj was standing still. And this is young Taj Gibson, right?
When Taj was still athletic.
Yeah. Everybody, bro. He looked at Jimmy Butler and it was like, "Oh my God, I ain't got nobody out here." And Jimmy Butler was like, "What you mean?" And Jimmy Butler came into the game, and Melo gave him a 6-piece. Melo gave Jimmy Butler a 6-piece, right? But he had given everybody else an 8-piece, right? And from then on, you saw Tibbs depending on Jimmy Butler more and more and more, and giving them more assignments and more. And then you stop hearing about the Keith Bogans, the Kirk Heinrichs, the Tony Snells. You know what I'm saying? You started depending on Jimmy Butler. Ultimately, what I'm saying, the reason why I said all of that is if Grimes is passive with Tibbs, Tibbs ain't giving him nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with Obi. Obi, every time, Obi, you banging your head on the bench, you upset with yourself because you making mental mistakes. Tibbs don't like that.
And Tibbs also be like, shoot the ball.
Yes.
He will tell you, shoot the ball.
Yes. Just the reason why Tibbs prefers Josh Hart is because Tibbs can yell at him to the top of his lungs, and Josh Hart is crazy.
He'll run through a wall. You don't even need Tibbs to do that. He'll just do it anyway.
Yes, he'll do it for fun. You know what I'm saying? Like the thing with RJ and Josh Hart and Quickly is their mind is not right. Bro, these dudes are offset, bro. These dudes are not like Kemba Walker, who's a gentleman. Like you yell at Kemba and all that stuff, and Kemba can be like, "Hey man, don't speak to me that way. I'm a veteran, man. I've been in the league." Quickly, it's like, "Yeah, man, yeah." You know what I'm saying? I saw Calipari, man. I saw Calipari cuss at Quickly during the 2-minute time. You know, in college games, you know how you have the timeout stack at every 4 minutes. Every 4 minutes, there's going to be a timeout, regardless if you call it or not, for TV, right? The TV timeouts.
Yeah.
Right? I saw Calipari cuss out Quickly for 2 straight minutes. Calipari was so physically tired after he cursed out Quickly during those 2 minutes that, and when they went on the floor, Calipari sat down with a towel and was like, and you know what Quickly did before he went back on the floor? He patted Calipari on the ass. Thank you, coach.
He's a soldier.
Yeah.
That's a soldier.
Quickly ain't got it, bro. I'm telling you. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling you firsthand. This is a firsthand account. I saw it with my own eyes. This dude Quickly, and I think Josh Hart is the same thing. I think that's the reason why Tibbs loves him.
Tibbs values a specific type of player.
Mental toughness is what they call it.
Yeah, and also like Grimes is not afraid in terms of taking on. There's a reason why Grimes gets a lot of leeway because Tibbs throws him on every tough assignment, and he goes after it. It's just he doesn't have that same mentality on offense. He just has it on defense.
Right, but you know what happens to those type players, right?
They get turned into specialists.
Eventually, they break, and there is nothing left in them.
Yeah.
He did it to Keith Bogans, bro. He did it to Chris Dunn. He did it to Elfrid Payton, and now you're watching him do it with Quentin Grimes. And if Quentin Grimes doesn't take that next step to the next level, he is going to be discarded, just like Kirk Heinrich, who had the coolest nickname ever outside of the Iceman. The coolest nickname ever, the Heinrich maneuver. You know what I'm saying? But Tibbs will take those 6'4", 6'5" guys, and if they don't become something, Hey, have you ever seen Guardians of the Galaxy, the second one?
Yeah.
You know how the planet guy
His father.
took so many of the guys and just to get one or two of them, right? In the Tibbs case, the planet guy wound up having a boneyard full of the ones that failed, right? But he had success and with the mantis chick and the goofy leader guy,
Yeah.
right? You know what I'm saying? And that's what Tibbs has with Jimmy Butler and maybe a couple of other players that played for Tibbs. Everybody else, if you're not mentally man, listen, man, look,
You
man.
grind you in the dust.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm afraid that if Grimes don't take that next step, if he doesn't take that dog step, he'll be discarded like Elfrid Payton. And I know that sounds sad, man. And I know people don't want me to call Grimes Elfrid Payton.
Have him go around the league being a 6 point per game guy for the rest of his career.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to his credit, he averaged like 11
Yeah.
this year. But I feel like when our normal complement of players are out there, he's like a 7 point per game guy.
I was just about to say that's an undercover 11, bro. That's a
Because he
weird
got
11.
up a lot of stats towards the end of the year.
At the end of the
Averaging
season.
20, all those 20-point games. It looked good.
But
But
to
it
his
wasn't
credit, he did it.
Yeah, he did it.
Yeah.
And that's only just a precursor. It shows that he can do it. He just doesn't have the mentality or the intensity to do
Right.
it. To just grab the bull by the horns while we have a full complement of players out there on the court.
And while teams are not tanking.
Yeah.
So here, let me read his monthly averages to you. This is just points per game, right? and it's unfair to judge an NBA player just by points per game. But since JJ brought up his efficiency, I just want to speak to this really quickly. Because JJ has a point, right? Grimes was 5.5 points 5.5 points per game at the beginning of the season, right? So he was 5.5, and y'all remember he was hurt with the foot. Remember he was hurt with the foot coming out of the boot and all that stuff, right? And then he was 13.9, right? And then in January he was 10.8. In February he was 8.4. In March he was 12.4, and then in April, Quentin Grimes averaged 24.8 points a game. Was that tell y'all?
It's a big spike in the last.
He doubled his season average in April, and he missed games in April too. By the way, he played He played the 2nd, 5th, 7th, 9th. No, he played every game in April. He played every game in April, right? But then in the playoffs, with everybody back against Cleveland, he averaged 3.7 points a game. Against Miami, he averaged 5.8 points a game.
Unacceptable.
Right. So why I'm not
What was his shots per game? Field goal
uh
attempts per game.
on the season
No, in
or
the playoffs.
in the playoffs? Okay, against Cleveland, he took 5.8 shots per game. He took 4.7 threes. He shot 34.3% from the floor against Miami and 28.6% from three. And against Cleveland, in the 3 games he played against Cleveland, he took 3.7 shots a game against Cleveland and 3 threes a game against Cleveland. He shot 11.1% from 3 against Cleveland.
That's unacceptable.
But he was hurt. He had the shoulder injury.
Yeah, for sure. But maybe
JJ, you see how I keep making excuses for him? I keep making excuses for Grimes, man. I'm sorry, man. My apologies, y'all.
But man, it's not good when he's only taking this many shots.
Right. I understand it. Right. My deal is he could easily become Tony Snell. I know that doesn't seem fair. I know that doesn't seem fair. Right? But if he's on his current path with Tibbs and all these injuries racking up, he could become Tony Snell and not Jimmy Butler. That's the one thing we got to look at. You know what I'm saying? The two guys, the two babies that Tibbs was trying to groom at the same time, one succeeded, one failed.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think to Coach Bele or Belly, is it Bele?
Yeah.
Said is Dylan Brooks worth a reclamation project? I think Freezy. I think Dylan Brooks is the move you make after you make the trade.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the guy you pick up after you already like. If you were to get Donovan Mitchell or anybody,
Yeah.
you use your MLE and just sign them with that.
Yeah. Yeah. The
And then
MLE
that
limits you though, right? Doesn't the MLE
it's
limit
like
you
I
to
think
2
like
years?
I think the max is 3 years to like $12 to $13 million or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, because if you, I think it might even be 1 year. I'm not sure, right? But I know the biannual exception. I think that's 2 years.
Yeah, but that's less money. It's like 6 million or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, and then plus that's only for teams that are only over that's
First April.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
But
being over the salary cap is one thing, but then there is that point where
there's just levels.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So, like, I would once you get your extra your second star, your third star, you need guys like Dylan Brooks to just slot into that role as the wing defender, and he just guards twos, threes, some ones,
right,
twos, threes, like playmakers, and you just sick him at him. That's it.
yeah,
His job out there is to just you sick him. You put him in that like that PJ Tucker role,
yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah. My fear is though that we're gonna give Josh Hart $20 million a year.
Oh God, don't
And,
say
and
that.
and it's gonna no man for real. I'm serious. I'm not saying it's just a troll. I'm not saying it just a troll. I think some Knicks fans cherish or like Josh Hart so much that they're willing to give him the bag and deal with the what Josh Hart brings.
Josh Hart is what 28.
Yeah, that's what.
What you saw at the end of the season is the best version that you'll ever get of Josh Hart. He's not gonna be anything else.
He's never going to be that good ever again. That 61% from three, you'll never see that again, bro.
That was just it was an unrealistic outlier, and credit to the Miami Heat for not overreacting to it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Spoelstra was like, "These got this is his numbers for his career. I don't care about this 20 game sample.
right.
I do not care."
If Josh Hart beats us, I can still sleep comfortably.
Josh Hart dropping 25 on us to beat us. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, cool.
I can live with that. Yep, yep. The Donovan Mitchell thing is intriguing. The Donovan Mitchell thing is intriguing to me because I think once you get him, and Dre, you remember all the stuff I said last night? Remember I said Cat was soft,
Yep.
all of that. If you get Donovan Mitchell, I think you got to go get Karl Anthony Towns.
Then okay, then there's no reality with Randall being here. Then.
No, Randall's gonna be gone.
Right, well, Randall would have to go in and call Thomas.
Yeah, yeah, and I think RJ too.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Right, and listen, I don't want them to go. I don't want either to go. But in a realistic world, bro, no team starts 5 stars.
Nope.
So
Gotta pick and choose.
yeah,
Gotta
yeah,
pick and choose. I mean, that's only logical. It's only fair.
and I think if you tell Tibbs that he has to operate a defense with Brunson, Spider, and Karl Anthony Towns,
He will quit.
I think he'll quit. Yeah, I think he'll quit.
He will not. No, he's not acquiescing to that.
No, he ain't good.
He's not putting together a team that's about to drop 130 and give up 125.
Yeah.
That's not his identity.
Every night against any opponent. Yeah,
No, he's not doing it.
yeah, and then
This is part of the reason why I think he kind of soured on Carl Towns, because when he had him, the Wolves actually had like a top third offense,
yeah,
but a mediocre defense, and
yeah.
it was a complete different change of pace to what he was used to from the Bulls.
When they had Jimmy Butler, they had a top 7 offense and a top 7 defense. And then Jimmy Butler got hurt and they fell all the way down the standings. And Jimmy Butler was out for the year, and he was trying to come back against the Pelicans. You remember that when the Pelicans, the Timberwolves lost to the Pelicans? Was it the Rockets? Was it the Rockets?
What was you talking about in the playoffs?
Yeah.
It was
Pelican.
I think it was the Rockets.
It was the Rockets, right?
I believe it
When
was.
Carl Anthony Towns averaged like 15 points a game.
Oh God.
Yeah.
We talking about like we get on Randall for not being a playoff performer.
Yeah.
Carl Towns is not a playoff performer.
Yeah. But here's the thing though. Here's the thing that I want to address with the chat. Chat, listen, when you get guys, you have to understand in team building, everybody's not built for Cuban links, right? Like the reason why Randall is valuable, because Randall by himself can almost carry a team to 50 wins, almost.
He can be a linchpin of a team's offense.
Right. But understanding that, you got to get when the lights get bright now, when the playoffs start, Randall's not going to be that same guy, whether it's his mentality shrinks or he's worn down by that time or he's not flexible. Yeah, yes. So you got to have another guy, right? You have to have another guy to step up. See, if the Knicks had another guy that could step up, right, we'd still be playing right now.
I mean, for the most part, RJ was stepping up, which is why we made it out the first round. He was stepping up in place of Randall.
But we need Quickly or Grimes to step up. Both.
Yeah.
Obi also.
Yeah.
And
that's absolutely true.
And so my thing is if you want to be honest, the only guys that I saw that really didn't get bothered by the playoff lights at all are Jalen Brunson and Isaiah Hartenstein. Everybody else had their ups and downs in the playoffs.
But
look great.
But for Isaiah Hartenstein, he's just a role player. So like his ceiling isn't like dependent upon to be like it's not like he was putting up 15 and 10. He was like I think 6 points or something like that. So at least he gave you what he gave you in the regular season.
Right. But that's my point. My point is his role is limited, but he didn't give you less in the playoffs. He stepped up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In my opinion, there were times where he was ready to go off and Tibbs sat him. I was like, Tibbs. Right? Like when Miami, I think it was like a game one. I think it was game one where it was like back and forth. And I felt like Tibbs took out Hartenstein and played. I'll research it. Before I say that, let me look it up.
So when you're looking at a point out a comment from JJ said, "So aren't we 2 pieces away if Randall isn't a playoff performer?" I'll say this. I think we haven't done Julius the ultimate favor in terms of making his life easier in the playoffs. Like ultimately, when you're in the playoffs, it's about these margins. It's about taking advantage and capitalizing on easier looks instead of forcing the hard ones all the time.
Right.
Granted, when
Right.
it comes down to winning time in the end of games, you're gonna have to take tough shots. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
But you're not supposed to be taking hard shots from the first quarter, step back threes. Like
Right.
not in the playoffs. In the regular season, sure, cool.
Right. Right.
It isn't as pressurized, but you're not being scouted for. You're not being under the microscope. Like if you ever looked up like what the average assistant coaches like scouting book on guys are, there's pages and pages. And then when you put Randall on a guy like Bam, and Bam already has a scouting report where it's like when Randall cradles the ball this particular way, he's probably going to take a step back. And you have smart defenders reading the scouting report.
Yeah.
And it's not the regular season where guys coming in from a flight off the West Coast to come play you in New York.
On a random night, and then they got to pack up all their stuff and be in Brooklyn tomorrow.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
game film every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like when you're running into things like that, no matter if your bread and butter is your bread and butter, you need to be able to find ways to make it easier. And like Jimmy Butler is very talented at taking mid-range jumpers, right, off the dribble. But that's not his shot diet unless it gets to the fourth quarter.
Right.
During games, he's getting to the front of the rim. He's getting free throws. Bam is setting him up to get layups or push shots or floaters and hook shots right in the middle of the lane. Easy looks. Did we generate an easy look for Randall? Like
No.
at all? No. So ultimately, like you might get on Randall for his performance. You want her to play better, and part of that has to do with decision making, like his process.
Right.
But also, the coach is there to be supplemental,
Um.
and you're
Let-
making Randall fall victim to his own vices at that point.
Well, yeah. Just want to say this, y'all. So Randall didn't play game 1 against Miami, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks lost 108-101.
Should have won that game too.
Should have won that game. That's what I'm saying to you. When Tibbs went Hartenstein, took Hartenstein out instead of Mitch, and left Mitch in there, right?
But that's Tibbs, Freezy. Like fourth quarter, game 6, this man took out Grimes for Hart. It is that's like his identity. He'll just fall back in love with his habits, even if he shows you like the ability to switch it up. Like for instance, he put Randall on the bench and close out that one
Right.
time.
Right.
He'll always come back twofold with his old
He'll double
logic.
down on it. Yeah.
with his old logic.
Yeah. No. What I'm getting at is in that game that I mentioned about Hartenstein, Mitch dominated that game. Mitch had like 14 rebounds. Right. Mitch dominated, right? But there was a stretch in there that I thought that we could get some offense from Hartenstein. And maybe I'm remembering this incorrectly, right? But in this series, let me y'all just humor me, right? So in our losses, we lost to Miami 101, 108, 101. We beat them 111, 105. We lost 105-86. We knew we lost that game in Miami, right? We came out to like that was the game 3. Game 3, that was the game where we took them lightly and they just washed us off the floor. It happens, right? Then we lost 109, 101. We won 112, 103. And then we lost 96-92. And the final score should actually be 94-92. But Jalen Brunson turned the ball over. We had to foul and they hit free throws.
Right.
Right. That series is a lot closer than what we think. We are small coaching decisions away and bad plays away from beating the Miami.
Bad execution.
Yeah, like the thing I keep saying over and over and over again. When Mitch caught the ball on the launching pad, they fouled him. When Bam caught the ball on the launching pad, it was a highlight dunk. Right? You got to make Bam out of body, and you don't want to hurt Bam. Right? You don't want to hurt Bam out of body.
Hey, Bam is physical. He can take it.
But you want to make him earn it. Right?
I think I don't. Did we even get a flagrant foul at any point in that series?
No, we ain't got no flagrant foul. Man, come on.
Come on, man.
Who gonna? When you got dudes named Isaiah and Joshua, you think we're gonna flagrant foul? No, we ain't. Emmanuel, man. I mean,
Obadiah.
Yeah, Obadiah. No, he does not get flagrant foul nobody, bro.
Oh God.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah.
We ain't had no intent to follow through type plays. None of that.
No. And I'm not trying to do a swinging indictment on
No.
on the Knicks as a team.
But at some point, like physical play, you'll have that happen.
It's playoff basketball.
And yeah, and there's been multiple times where there have been flagrant foul calls where it really wasn't a flagrant. But when you're playing hard,
we did get a flagrant foul. That Jalen Brunson's flagrant foul in the corner on Gabe Vincent.
Oh, the 3-pointer?
Yeah.
Oh,
that was trash. You know, how you call that
not even compared to what Caleb did to Jalen, which is even more egregious. Like he stopped and then he skidded his foot again.
Yeah. What do you think? DSJ has a point. He said, sounds like we should have kept Mook Morris. I don't think we should have kept him, but he would definitely help us now.
Yeah, he wouldn't allow us to get punked like that.
Nah, he ain't. No, he ain't. Yeah.
And I think I don't like. I don't necessarily. It might be a gripe on my part, but like Julius is buddy with a lot of guys in the league. Like he knows Bam from KU days, so
yeah.
So it's one of those things where he's not even gonna take it to the next level because, oh, I know this guy. He's my friend.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. Dang, I got a hoodie. Now I got to take this thing off. It's hot in here.
Let me get back to the chat. I agree with you, DSJ. But ultimately, you got to emphasize that if you're the coach, right? We all know Randall isn't the highest IQ basketball player. He needs guidance, ultimately.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last part.
What did I say?
I don't know. I didn't hear it.
I'm trying to remember what I said because I just got distracted reading DSJ's comment. But I was talking about how Randall is friends with a lot of these guys still. It was still about that.
Yeah. Man. Bro. Oh, I forgot about the newsletter. Man. Hey, so everybody, do your mans a favor. Check out the Blorange Tears newsletter. I just wrote another newsletter. It's a joint called School's Out for Summer. It's probably a 4-minute read, right? It's probably a 4-minute read, man. It's in my mind, it's super dope, right? Because I know you guys are busy, saving the world, doing everything that you do. So I don't want to bombard you with a whole bunch of homework, right? But I do like bombarding y'all with basketball. I mean, basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court. Just like I'm the king of the microphone, like Dr. J and Moses Malone. Right? So I put the link to the newsletter in the chat, man. Y'all check that out. It's just for y'all, man. Um, um, it's I borrow y'all's thoughts, right? I borrow y'all's thoughts basically, and combine storytelling with some with some stuff, and and try to send you guys something entertaining. So if you could subscribe to the newsletter, it's free. It's free. We don't even charge. Man, listen, we don't even charge. Cats are charging for newsletters nowadays, right? And Nev the Disruptor is an excellent writer. I try to do what I can, right? But if you see it, click on it, go to it, man, subscribe to it, let it come to your email address, and then say, hey, Alexa, read me the Blorange Tears newsletter. And even Alexa will read it to you. So, yeah, man, my bad, Dre.
Yeah, you good. You good, Freezy.
Yeah,
what was that? What was that? Where was that again? But yeah, it's
let me challenge you.
yeah.
Let me let me answer this about answer this about C-Mac real quick. So C-Mac, we have something for you. If you are looking for Nev articles about Obi, he and I are doing a Busy Bee versus Kumo D battle over Obi Toppin. Right?
A Cannabis versus LL Cool J.
Yeah. Yeah. Something
Well. I don't. It was kind of lopsided, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be lopsided. Because if you so Dre, I don't know if you read Teaching a Young Dog
Yeah, I did.
Old Tricks.
Yeah,
Bro, that was my thought right there, right? That's what me kind of going after Tibbs a little bit, right?
Yeah.
No. On Obi?
Gloves are off.
What gloves? I ain't bring none.
Barrett.
I'm not even. I don't have to take them off because I didn't even bring none.
You Obi. Brought the knuckles.
Yes.
Brass knuckles.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Right. And it's only because Nev challenged me. It's only because Nev said you can't read about Obi.
You most certainly can.
So now I'm writing a Star Wars themed diss on Obi.
Because it's easy right there, Obi. So.
Yeah, so I'm naming the article, and I think I have the name right. I think I may have to change it a little bit. I'm calling it Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Mm-hmm.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. No Obi. Right? And so mine will probably out. It's Thursday, so mine will probably be out Friday, and his will probably be out about Monday. So these are the type of things, right? And this is all in fun, y'all. This is all in fun. So we're just having fun, doing something entertaining for y'all during the summertime to keep everybody, interested in basketball and all of that stuff, man. So it's just for us to, stay occupied. JJ's out of here. All right, boss.
Peace.
Yeah, man. But the one we just did is one called School's Out for Summer.
Mm-hmm.
And basically JJ said don't be slandering Obi while I'm gone. Yeah. I mean,
hold on. He gone. Okay, he's gone. Hey, Grimes at Ham Sam. Oh wait, he's still here. Oh damn.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, man. But yeah, so the newsletter is out there. The audio podcast is jumping. Yeah, Dre, I don't know if you noticed or not, but you and I did a audio podcast about the pre-draft lottery.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the sentiment before that? Man, that thing is doing it and doing it and doing it well.
I'm glad. Man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Hey, and coach says, don't let Raw Hebrew catch you slipping. That's the church guy, right?
Yeah, he's a Hebrew.
Yeah,
Hebrew.
that's the church guy. Yeah,
Black Israelite.
Yeah, the
I like his content.
Okay,
Makes good content.
The older guy. Yeah, man. Shout out to him.
He love him some Grimes and Deuce.
Yeah. And I have it on good report that Deuce McBride likes the Knicks at Night podcast, which is odd. That's peculiar, right?
He's like, how do you find us?
I mean, we're on YouTube, bro.
Yeah, man. He probably looks himself up and found us just like that.
Or just search Knicks on YouTube, just like that. So yeah. So, but the Donovan Mitchell thing, man. I think it's something to stay aware of. Right. I think it's something to stay aware of.
Yeah.
Right.
Keep your feelers out, man.
Right. Because part of the, like DSJ, part of, for instance, fun is also part of being a fanatic. You be a fanatic because it's fun. You know what I'm saying?
And being crazy is also part of being.
Yeah.
Sometimes being crazy is fun. So.
Yeah. Trade Randall and play. Oh my God.
I'm not gonna co-sign that one.
You see this foolishness, man? Ain't no.
If I move Randall, I'm
man.
gonna get another power forward that might start over Obi anyway. So
yeah, ain't no reputable fan gonna tell you trade a 2-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA player for a dude that has done nothing in the NBA. That's clickbait, bro. That's click. Oh well, everybody entitled to their opinion, but listen, no. Listen to Uncle Freezy.
This is not a Jokic and Nurkic situation.
Right. My thing is though, I wanted to get into just a little bit. I think there is something to the Knicks positioning themselves to get into this free for all, this
musical chairs.
This offseason. The odd thing is, what are they looking for? Like, what bothers them so much that they feel like they need to make the move?
Well, I think they're taking they might take the same approach that you have, Freezy, where it's if you're staying still, you might be regressing.
Right.
If you're staying put, if you're not striking while the iron is hot, while the East has a pocket for you to sit yourself into, sink your teeth into to get to the next level, you need to strike while the iron's hot.
Right.
Because these other teams coming behind us, if we stay put, they might reach where we're at right now.
Right. I honestly believe Orlando is that team. I believe, if Orlando gets them
I think Orlando gonna make the playoffs next year.
I think it's done.
Not even playing like 6 seed.
Yep. And I think the team that takes the step backwards is the Chicago Bulls.
Well, they were playing. Well, yeah, because they might blow it up altogether.
Yeah, I think they might have to. I think they may have to, because now they don't even play Patrick Williams no more,
which is absurd.
Bizarre. Yeah, that's bizarre. They were playing Alex Caruso at power forward.
Starting him there.
Yeah,
Like,
tremendously bizarre, bro. Tremendously bizarre.
I think it's been a bit of malpractice in terms of his development, but some of it is on him, of course.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's ever been prioritized because they
I
just
think
have these other guys on the team.
the worst thing they did for him is bulked him up. That was a mistake. I think the second thing they did is not allowed him to be creative with this offense. I think that's also a mistake. And then at the same time, DeMar DeRozan takes the shots in the area where he should be taking shots.
Yeah. They turned him into a corner shooter. Granted, he's shooting 40% from three.
Right.
But that's not what he was supposed to be.
But that's not what he was supposed to. And they took him fourth.
That was when you take a guy forward, you're looking at him as someone that's supposed to take your franchise forward. Like Scotty Barnes went fourth, and the Raptors are invested in turning him into whatever he needs to be.
Yep. Would you consider trading Obi for him?
For
Patrick Williams?
Yes.
Immediately, right?
I wouldn't even really think
I would run to the commissioner office for that.
Like, you sure you want to? Nah, yeah.
Nah, I ain't even asking no questions, bro. I'm like, okay, done.
You signing the paperwork right there.
Right there. But you know why that makes sense for them and us?
Why is that?
It gives Tibbs young Jimmy Butler, right? And then it gives them the floor spacing and athleticism that they don't have in the front court. They got the Javonte Green kid, the Derrick Jones kid.
But they're all like
undersized, trying to do
Yeah, they're really small forwards.
Right. So yeah. Man, it's chat. Am I wishing on a star right there? DSJ, would you take that? Would y'all consider that?
I would do it in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even think about it.
What if you were on the Chicago Bulls side of things, though?
I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it if you're the Chicago Bulls?
Just because of his perceived ceiling.
Oh,
because
God.
sometimes you see him out there when he's engaged and locked in. It's like, is this Kawhi right here? What was this?
Yeah.
And then you only see that about once every 5 games.
Yeah.
Because they got him locked up in the corner. And then he has a lot of the same things that we don't like about Grimes. Lack of assertiveness.
Yeah.
Even though he has physical advantages on
every night.
98% of the people that guard him.
Yep.
Like, if you were to place Kuminga's mentality in his body.
Oh my God, you got the best player in the NBA. What if you put Quickly's mindset into him?
Oh God.
Yeah. You may have the best player in the NBA. And I would consider doing don't tell the preacher guy that the church guy y'all been talking. Don't tell him that I said trade Obi for Patrick Williams. Right? Because I ain't want bad luck and all that. But what I will say is I think it's a great trade for both teams, right? Because ultimately, when I look at their lineup right now, I'm looking at DeRozan, Levine, Vucevic, Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, Gorange, Andre Drummond.
It's a lot of bad
Patrick Beverly, Alex Caruso. You got Pat Bev.
Pat Bev said he's gonna go back to Houston.
Oh my God!
Just because they got money out there.
And you got Javonte Green. Oh God! You think about look at all these non-shooters. Think about all these non-shooters I'm going to mention, right? All right, so you got Ayo, who's aight. You got Pat Bev, Caruso, Javonte Green, Derrick Jones. Oh my God, you can't. Yeah, no.
There's a reason why they were last in the league in 3-point attempts per game,
Yeah, you got
even though they started stretch 5.
right. Yeah, man, you gotta. Oh my goodness, man. Yeah, I would do that. I'm
I
I'm
would
on the
do it
phone.
without thinking.
I'm on the phone with them. I'm on the phone right now doing that.
It was like
Right.
we'll fly Obi over right now.
Would you do Obi and quickly for something?
What's the something?
I don't
Like if
know.
you don't have a player in mind, like you have like a type of player in mind, a position, anything.
I really like Dalen Terry.
I'm not. I mean,
You not a fan of him?
I like Dalen Terry, but you just mentioned quickly and Obi, and I'm not.
Would you do Deuce for Dalen Terry?
Yeah, but
Okay.
yeah, I don't know if they'd do that, but I for sure would do that. I would give them Sims for Dalen Terry, Sims and Deuce.
Okay. Okay. The reason and hey, C Mac, the reason why I'm just throwing this stuff around is because I believe Jalen Brunson is the future of the point guard position for the Knicks. And what I don't want to do is have us be in a situation where Jalen Brunson slips on the banana peel and he's gone for like 2 months, and then our season is ruined. You feel me?
Yeah. The thing is, like in the regular season, quickly has shown the aptitude to actually hold it down, at least from an offensive fire firepower standpoint.
Right.
He's not Brunson for sure, but Brunson isn't like the greatest playmaker. So if we're like looking for production in terms of just straight up points out of the guard position, because that's legitimately what we do.
Right. Okay.
IQ can hold it down. He's not Brunson, not in any way. But I think IQ stats when he starts. Granted, there's a lot of fluff games in there.
Yeah.
He's averaged like 24 points per game
I
when he
think he
starts.
can. I think he can get there though. With the assists,
Oh,
I think quickly can get there.
I think it might sound blasphemous, but I think quickly is a better passer than Brunson.
No doubt. No
I
doubt.
think he's a better passer than Brunson. Does he necessarily utilize that skill as much or have like the consistency? No.
Right.
But Brunson is a much more efficient isolation player, so it kind of cancels that out.
Right. Rick B would say, just trade Randall already.
And the Knicks good.
Yeah, just go ahead and get him out of here already,
He-
please.
I actually, you know what? DSJ brings up a interesting point. I think Io got a little bit overwhelmed this year,
Right.
but he's still a big point guard. I mean, it's stretch calling him point guard though. He's a
Yes,
big guard.
Yes, a stretch call.
He's a big guard that can initiate a little bit.
A little teeny bit.
Yeah.
But my thing is once we take the shackles off Grimes, I think Grimes can be there. Do some of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Not
With a jumper.
Yeah. I don't think he's Io though, because Io has the instincts to do it. He played point guard at Illinois. It's just it didn't transfer to the NBA
It's
as
kind
a
of like
full-time point guard.
Shumpert.
Yeah.
Shumpert played point guard at Georgia Tech. But
Yeah.
he got to the league. He had the handles for that pressure. He didn't have the vision for it. And because he was 6'5", it was easy to just put him at the 2.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if Shumpert was 6'7", he'd be a small forward.
I agree.
That
I
had always
agree.
been my thought.
I agree. If he was 6'7", we definitely would be trying to compare him to Jimmy. Remember, we were comparing him to Jimmy
Right.
when
Right.
they
And that's
first
when
got on the
the
scene.
early Jimmy days.
Yeah, and then Jimmy just was like, I'm a different animal. This is
Yeah, we talking about 2014-ish.
yeah,
I think
2013, 2014, Jerry.
because 2013 he was becoming that guy.
2013, I think he averaged like 13 points per game or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
Then the next year he put up 20, and then it was
Is
started.
that the same year Giannis popped? Did they pop in the same year?
Giannis? I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Because I remember a skinny Giannis always up in people's face, like always demanding respect. Yeah.
That was like Steve Rogers before the Soldier Serum,
Oh,
Super Soldier
before
Serum.
yeah,
It's like,
man.
let me at him, let me at him.
Yeah, yeah,
I could
yeah,
go all night,
yeah.
go all day.
I like that version of Giannis. But let me ask.
14, 15, he averaged 11.
Okay,
15, 16, he averaged 13.
right,
16, 17, 16. 17, 18, 18.
right.
18, 19, 19. Then 19, 20, 23.
Yep.
Oh, no, no, no. I'm looking at his per 36. I'm tripping by
Okay,
accident.
okay,
His per games. There we go. Here.
okay.
So 13, 14, he was at 5. He was at, what was it? 13, 14, he was at 2 point. Wait, no. Am I tripping? He was at 6.8 points per game, right? That
Right,
was his rookie year.
right.
Then sophomore year, 12.7. Third year, 17 points per game. Then his fourth year in 16, 17, 23 points per game. And then it was,
Jimmy buckets from there.
yeah.
Right.
And Jimmy
Yeah,
Buckets turned that corner in like 14, 15.
yeah. But by that time he was what, 26?
Yeah, he was grown man at that point.
Yeah, he was like. That's why I'm saying be patient with RJ. But the thing about RJ though is even the slow burn with RJ is, see, Jimmy Butler, even though his development was slow, it didn't look bad. RJ's development looks bad, bro.
Because at the time, like if you're keeping it real, Jimmy's progression was a lot like Kawhi's, if I'm being honest, because he was like a low usage player.
Right.
He was scoring hustle points, and at the rim with elite defense.
Right.
So you just put him in the corner and don't think about him, and then he produces on his
And
own.
didn't he, was that the Rondo years, or was that did he break out with Derrick Rose? He didn't break out with Derrick Rose, right?
He broke out when Derrick Rose was hurt.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Then he fully arrived with the Rondo years.
The Rondo and D Wade years, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because
Yeah.
I look at these Bulls rosters.
Yeah. So Dre, what's your thought on Amani Bates?
I think he has like the potential for elite shot making, and his frame is still 6'8". The only problem is because he's 6'8", and he doesn't have like an NBA body just yet, and he isn't much of a playmaker or a defender. You have to chisel out like a lot of his flaws, and he
Yeah.
can grow because he's still 20, I believe.
Yeah.
So he can grow but like the idea of Imani ain't gonna make it until like he's 24, 25.
I don't I'm back and forth on him like a cameo song. Oh, I'm
Like,
sorry. I keep saying that. And a lot of the chat don't even know who Cameo is. Like DSJ doesn't even know who Cameo is. Right? But
I think DSA knows who Cameo is, man.
so I'm back and forth on him like an Aaliyah song. Right. Upon further review, I think he's too slow to be that guy that's gonna be that buckets.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like where I was at, because ultimately, like, a lot of the hype that was based on Imani Bates because he was 6'7" at 15.
Yeah.
So people thought, okay, he's gonna get to like 6'10",
Right.
like MPJ or something.
And have super long arms. Yeah. And none of that.
And if he were to continue to grow, then his lack of foot speed wouldn't matter, because then he'd be like a small forward
Right.
and he'd be pestering guys with his length. But he doesn't have that.
Right. Right.
So, and then when you compound it with the fact that he never was like a natural playmaker, Penny Hardaway tried to make him one, and it just didn't work.
Right.
So he had to transfer.
Because he's not strong enough. Right. And it's the Frank Ntilikina thing. Like, Frank Ntilikina tried to be a playmaker, but the slightest bump.
I won't say that, because guys like Tyrese Halliburton are very light. Tyrese is a very light guy.
Right. Trae Young is a very light guy.
Yeah. Sometimes that just has to do with like a certain skill level and IQ and anticipation. It's one of those things where ultimately, like, point guards aren't really made; they're born.
Right.
To a certain extent, to the highest level.
See, I thought
you
can
a
certain thing, but
yeah, because like to a certain extent, or like great playmakers, you can build up a guy to make him a solid playmaker, like how Durant wasn't a playmaker at all coming into the league, but over time, like around his 5th, 6th year, he developed like learning how to exploit double teams, things of that nature. But even now, he falls into the trap of struggling when he gets trapped in pressure.
Right. The thing I was gonna say about guys like Frank and Imani Bates, they get bumped off of their spot, and they can't create or recreate angles in order to do what it is that they want to do. See, Trae Young is not going to get bumped off because he is going to create the angle before the bump. Right.
Because he's fast too.
I see you right. Okay. There it is.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So now,
and Tyrese is definitely quick as a cat for his size.
Yeah.
For his size, he's quick.
Yeah. Because he's not Malcolm Brogdon. Because Malcolm Brogdon is the opposite of him.
Yeah.
Right.
So when we talk about him, it's like he might be able to thrive in a situation where there's just a dominant playmaker, and he's just thriving off catch and shoots.
Right.
But that off the dribble stuff,
nah. No, none of that's happening. None of that's happening. And I'll give you an example of a guy that's just like that, and may eventually be something in the right system, but his stock dropped because of it. The guy that Golden State Warriors drafted in the first round last year.
Last year,
the guy that went to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The college.
Oh! I know who you're talking about, Patrick Baldwin Jr.
Yeah, Pat. But yeah, him. Right.
Yep. And he has a great jumper, but he can't even get it off.
But you can't get it off. Right. And for those that look at Imani Bates, I'm going to tell you exactly who he is, and y'all are going to laugh, but he's exactly the same guy. Imani Bates, in my mind, is Kevin Knox.
Oh, no.
Right. Like, for instance, you only see, remember this with Kevin Knox and others, you only see his athleticism in open gym, or maybe when he sneaks up on somebody and catches somebody off guard. And then like Kevin Knox dunked on Ben Simmons, not because he's athletic, but because Kevin Knox is a mile long. Pause. Yeah. Right. That's why he caught Ben Simmons. Right. And so when you look at Imani Bates and Kevin Knox is a foot race, I think we'll fall asleep before both of them cross the finish line. Right.
At least Kevin Knox had some weight to him.
Yeah, a tad bit. But Kevin Knox might be no. Kevin Knox is shorter than Amani Bates.
By a little bit, like
Yeah,
6'7".
yeah.
Imani's 6'8".
Kevin Knox is 6'7". Yeah,
Imani's 6'8".
yeah.
But he's just rail thin.
Rail thin. Yeah,
It's not going to transfer.
yeah.
And to that point, like the rookie year, Durant shot under 40% on the field, and he was a physical freak scorer from the jump.
Right.
Now imagine that for Imani Bates, where he's multiple tiers lower than Durant.
Oh, yeah. So that's what I think about Amani Bates, and to be honest with you, if I'm thinking about the Cats in the second round, he is not the guy I'm thinking about.
That's kind of why I was like, I don't know if he might get drafted for me. He might be one of them undrafted guys that they bring in the summer league, and he kind of works his way into like a training camp deal. And if he makes a roster from then, God knows.
If the Knicks, my summer league backcourt is Amani Bates and John Montero.
No Deuce. No Deuce. No.
No, I ain't saying Deuce to be a third year player. I ain't sending Deuce to summer league.
What about Trevor Keels?
Yeah, Trevor. Oh, what about him?
He's a summer league MVP, Freezy.
Man, he is Keels on wheels.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, Keels on wheels. And C-Mac says Knox is more athletic than Amani. Maybe a smidge, but Kevin Knox. Trust me, if Kevin Knox had some type of, if Kevin Knox was
Kevin Knox don't have no wiggle.
None. Y'all don't remember how Austin Rivers? Oh my!
RJ Barrett got more wiggle than him, and RJ stiff.
Man, y'all don't. You remember Austin Rivers? Austin Rivers 2K'd Kevin Knox in the isolation.
Oh no. Austin Rivers hit him with one of those moves that you saw in his high school mixtape.
Yes. And the sad part is Kevin Knox got called for a blocking foul. You know why? Because Austin Rivers was so quick around him. Knox's reactions were so slow.
Yeah, Knox has stiff hips. Like guys were gonna blow by him regardless.
Yeah.
To answer C-Mac's question, hell no.
No, but you wouldn't want him for that.
Nah, he's ultimately his role in the league, if he figures it out, is a microwave bench scorer.
Go to Sacramento, come off the bench, right? Go to Denver. Go to Denver, be Michael Porter Jr.'s backup, because in theory, that's what he wants to be, except 20 times worse than Michael Porter. Right? And just be that, bro. And Cats will he'll be fun to play with on 2K. Let me just put it that way. He'll be fun to play with on 2K, but anything beyond that, no.
Nah. No. It's one of those things because you see him be able to create his shot against lesser talent. But even in the combine, like he's shooting heavily contested shots because he can't do anything else. He can't beat anybody. He can't go around anyone.
Right.
He's not explosive enough to.
No. And that includes passing angles. That includes rebounding, like rebounding out of your area. When you don't have foot speed, you can't do any of that stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna pass. I'm gonna pass on him as a draft pick. Now, I will make him a priority unrestricted free agent.
Yeah, undrafted
free agent. Yeah. Now he's the first person I'm calling.
Because off top, he's already an unrestricted free agent because he ain't getting drafted.
Yeah. So off top, yeah.
I'll watch him put up 25 in the summer league. But we all know summer league numbers don't transfer over.
What happens if he gets stronger though? What if he embraces the Tim Thomas route and becomes a stretch four? This is I'm talking about I'm talking about beefing up. I know at 178 he's not a stretch four. I know that.
Yeah, but it's like he's already unathletic.
Right.
If you put more weight on him, does he become even slower?
Does he become Joe Ingles?
I don't know. The thing that makes Joe Ingles, he has a high IQ.
Right.
Like a very, very high IQ.
Right.
And he can pass.
Right. And he's a willing passer.
Right. He's one of those guys that can function on or off ball and be intrinsic to like good basketball.
Yeah. And Joe Ingles is a risky passer. I like him though. Joe Ingles
takes calculated risks.
Very, very, and it's like second nature. It's not like oh my God, it's there. As soon as he see it, it's gone.
Yeah.
Like Jokic, like a natural end game half court passer.
Yep. And that's something that if you were to see that at any point for Imani, you would have seen like little bursts in terms of that development at Memphis or at EMU. But I watched him at EMU. He was just a chuck there. Just chuck.
Their talent was terrible.
Yeah, he was just there to chuck. So
I think the only reason why he went there is because the coach knew they didn't have talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, the coach is like, yo, we can get this guy? And we're terrible already? Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not? That team he played with that's the worst talent. That team had less talent than the Murray State team John Morant was on.
Yep.
You remember that team?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my God, bro.
And that team was terrible.
Oh God. And John took
I think Ja dragged them to the Sweet 16, right?
Dragged them, bro. And Ja was getting the whistle too, bro.
Oh yeah, he was getting superstar calls.
Yeah, he was getting the whistle. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have anything against getting the whistle. I'm just saying that man is he different.
He like NBA players struggle to keep up with his explosiveness. So
yeah,
it's like it is what it is, bro.
Yeah. What do you think the Knicks do this offseason? Say the Knicks don't get a superstar. What do they do? How do they improve?
From internally in terms of guys growing, figuring out growing within their roles or improving. And like the major improvement is just consistency. Legitimately. The biggest improvement across the board for all of our young players is just being more consistent at what they do. Not even more than what they do. Just be more consistent at what they do because they've all shown bursts of proficient to very high level play.
Right.
It just comes and goes. Like it'll come for a 5 to 6 game stretch and then it'll disappear. 3-4 more games after that.
Right. So no moves then.
I mean, if we don't make the big move, we preface it.
What about small moves?
No Josh Hart.
Oh. No Josh Hart.
We get better without Josh Hart.
Yes.
I think we actually get better if we put more responsibility on the younger guys.
Do you give Trevor Keels a roster spot?
I don't know if I give it to him, but he gonna have to show me something in the summer league. But he's probably gonna be on another 2-way.
If he's on another 2-way, I'll pass.
I don't think we have a choice because we ain't got no draft pick. Remember?
Right. If he's on another 2-way,
because if we had a draft pick or two, Keels would be in China right now.
Say that again.
If we had another draft pick or two, like second rounders,
Yeah.
Keels would be in China.
Really?
Yeah, I think. I think there's nothing that Keels presents as an NBA skill just yet. At least with Deuce, his defense is an NBA skill,
Okay.
which is why he stayed around.
I would like for Trevor Keels to be something.
I mean, I would like to too because not having draft picks kind of puts you in a hole where you need you need a second rounder or two to figure it out.
I gotta get those 3 second round picks from Charlotte, bro.
All 3 of them for Obi.
Yeah, because Charlotte have 5 draft picks, bro.
Yeah, like nobody's paying like 5 rookies.
No, not Charlotte. Charlotte. It depends on what they see, because if they trade back out of 2 with Orlando, that means they'll have 6 draft picks.
Which is why I'm more hesitant on the idea of them trading out. I think they're going to take somebody.
I had a dream that one day. No, I was thinking. I was legit thinking. I was in the room, man. So here's the thing. Chat. I want y'all to help me with this. So I'm writing a book about hip hop. Right, I'm writing a book about hip hop, so I'll probably be finished with it. So it's the 25th. I'll probably be finished with it at the beginning of June. Right. So occasionally I'll just sit to myself with everything off, with the phone off, with everything off, and just be in thought to myself. Right. And so, hey, Knicks Nation, what's good? And so occasionally I'll just drift off, like in the chair or somewhere, and just to think about what it is. Think about how I want to propose an idea. And
Right.
when I was thinking about that, all I could think about is the Charlotte Hornets. If they let Mitch Kupchak do his thing, Charlotte can make the playoffs next year. Here's the thing.
They would have been probably near a playing team if what's his name didn't miss all that damn time.
Yeah. No
And
doubt.
he's only going to get better. That
Right.
ball kid.
Because Mark Williams is a player.
Yeah.
The center they got from Duke last year.
And what's his name is coming back? Miles Bridges.
Miles Bridges is coming back. Right. So what do you put around? The kids they drafted 2 years ago. Oh God, what's the rookie? Not Kai Jones. Kai Jones is like 2 years away. The other kid out of Auburn. JT Thor.
Oh yeah, he's just like an athlete.
Yeah, Herb Jones.
I think he's a little bit bigger than Herb.
Yeah, but yeah, the archetype is what I'm talking
But,
about.
Okay, yeah, he's just an athlete.
Yeah. He'll learn how to do something. We just don't know what.
He gonna learn. He gonna get a trait, and then that's gonna be his calling card.
Yep. Kai Jones in about a year or two is probably gonna be Jarrett Vanderbilt.
Oh,
right.
I like that kind.
Right. It's just in a little while.
Yeah.
Right. But JT Thor and Kai Jones are role players, right? At the moment.
Yep.
What they need is a bucket. They need a certified bucket getter.
So Brandon Miller?
What do you do with Miles Bridges?
I mean, Miles Bridges. The thing with Miles Bridges
is a 3 body but plays the 4.
Yeah,
and
but
Brandon Miller is a full body, but looks to play the 3.
that's positional versatility. They can cross match. It doesn't really like their skill sets offset because one is more paint based and the other is more perimeter based.
Yeah, yeah,
So like the idea of that, it's like kind of like how Giannis and Brook Lopez offset each other because by definition in the league they're supposed to be doing the opposite things that they're doing,
yeah.
but they fit together because
But they fit together. Yeah,
yeah, it's one of those things where if they're looking for a bucket, then they might go that route instead of Scoot. But Scoot is definitely better than Brandon Miller.
but if you're that, the thing is I think Terry Rozier is gone. Terry
Oh yeah,
Rozier
oh yeah,
is
he gone.
going to be with the Phoenix Suns next year.
Is he a free agent?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so. I think so. I think I saw something
It
where
must be an option or something.
must be an option or something like
But
I guess.
I thought they extended him. Hold on, let me check.
Or I think maybe Phoenix is targeting him.
I'll tell you right now.
But my thing is
It would be funny if they traded him for CP and he comes back to his
yeah,
North Carolina stomping grounds.
original. Yeah, yeah. My thing is Charlotte with all those picks are not going to bring in more kids because they're kid friendly, mother approved right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you don't want LaMelo being your vet,
Hell no.
right? So I don't think they'll do all of that stuff. I do see a world where Charlotte trades back, and where is it? I'll tell you exactly what
About Terry Rozier, he has 2 more years on his
he's
deal.
got 2 more. Okay,
And then it's the next year on his deal is partially guaranteed.
okay.
It's actually a nice contract.
I can see a world though. I ain't gonna lie. I can see a world where Charlotte trades back, gets 6 and 11, drafts Cam Whitmore and Grady Dick.
Drafts Cam Whitmore. Ooh. But
And
Cam Whitmore and Miles Bridges that's overlap. Like that they do the exact same.
they're the same player in my mind.
Yeah.
That's my player comp for them.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing about it is I think they also already have, if we're assuming that any rookie they draft is going to step in and start from day one. I don't think that's going to happen.
Not with Steve Clifford.
Yeah, I think Terry Rozier is still going to start. I think Gordon Hayward has 1 more year. So you bring in Cam Whitmore, Grady Dick, and this is the future.
Ooh. And then you're getting those picks from the Magic. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
Magic jump up for Scoop.
For Scoot. And both of those teams threaten the Knicks off rep.
Without even flinching, just right there.
They hadn't even hit free agency yet.
Which is why you have to make a move as the Knicks.
Yeah, yeah. And I also think if Washington re-signs everyone, right, and get them a point guard at 8,
Who's a Raider? Anthony Black, right?
I like Anthony Black there, but I also want them. I would love a scenario where Washington drafts Anthony Black and signs Fred VanVleet in free agency. Right? KP. So it's KP,
Beal,
Porzingis,
Kuzma.
Yeah, all them guys. They run it back, and then they have their positionless young guys coming off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
And while I don't think Fred VanVleet is the answer to their point guard issue,
he can help.
He allows Bradley Beal to play on ball, which actually extracts.
He allows him to do both, actually.
Yeah.
It can be tit for tat.
Yeah.
Instead of just one look.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're the Knicks and you watch all these things happening in front of you, what are you gonna do?
It'll be hard to justify sitting put, Freezy. Like,
Yep. Yep.
unless you take that cap space and get a different player that's not Josh Hart.
Right. No team in our division picks until 13. Right. And y'all already know who the worst team in our division was this year. It was Toronto.
Not by a whole lot though.
But not by if Toronto adds a piece, if Toronto adds shooting, we're in trouble. If Toronto adds a Chris Murray, I think we're in trouble.
Oh, yeah. If they let go of Gary Trent and just get Chris Murray.
Yeah. I think Gary Trent is gone.
Yeah, they ain't paying him that money.
Yeah, I think him and Van Vliet are gone. They're usefulness. I don't know if y'all noticed this or not, but Toronto, once they get all their usefulness out of you, they don't have sentimental value.
That's just how Masai rolls.
That's their organization. They traded Stoudemire, Camby, Vince. They let McGrady go in free agent. They traded Junkyard Dog. They traded DeMar DeRozan. They let Chris Bosh walk in free agency. They traded the number 1 pick Bargnani. Ain't no love, bro. Once they ain't no sentimental value. So what do you think? So what do you think they do?
Oh man,
they're definitely a point guard away, a backcourt away.
You're talking about the Raptors. I think it might sound crazy. I think they like take a downgrade in terms of point guard. Like, who's the point guard on the Wizards again?
Monty Morris?
Yeah, I think they might make a move where they take Monty Morris and then give Scotty Barnes more point forward duties for his trajectory, for him to reach the ceiling.
So okay. So you're saying they're trading OG Anunoby. Because in order for Scotty Barnes to get more role, he's got to be a starter.
Scotty Barnes does start.
Well, who comes off the bench for them?
They start Pascal, Scotty, and OG.
So Jacob Poeltl
Gary Trent comes off the bench a lot.
What about Poeltl?
Poeltl starts with them.
So they start OG at the 2?
Yeah.
Wow.
They had these supersized big lineups.
Yeah, that's why they trash. That's why they trash.
That's why they run like a lot of for a lot of the season. Gary Trent started right before they got Poeltl, and then they had Poeltl for the last 20 or so games. Right. Then they went to these jumbo size starting lineups.
Yeah, that's why they trash, bro.
They was just running Pascal at the 5.
Yeah, and rotating with Boucher.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Koloko.
And Koloko. Oh, Koloko is a second year player.
Mm-hmm.
He's the future.
He's a good player. I mean, he can be a good player.
He's got the potential to be, he's got the potential to be a great player. They need a point guard, bro. How do you feel about Delano Banton? You got to watch them guys named Delano, man.
Delano just sound like a con artist. I'm not gonna lie.
Sound like a troll. Dudes named Delano just sound like a troll. You know what I'm saying?
I think he has some potential, but it's a lot of, you got to unearth it. Like you got to break a lot of his bad habits.
Yeah, his bad.
And I don't know if he can necessarily orchestrate an offense at this level, because big guards Big wings, they struggle with dribbling against comparable NBA defenders at the point.
Yeah.
They just struggle naturally.
I think his flaw is he passes too much.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
He doesn't really get downhill all the way.
Yeah, he passes too much and he doesn't do anything without the ball.
Right, exactly. And
you know what I'm saying?
That's like part of that is IQ and trying to figure out your place in the league and know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The same thing happened to Michael Carter Williams. Remember him?
Oh my God. He came out like a bat out of hell his first game. His first year,
out of Syracuse. Yeah.
And then the league figured him out, and then it was kaput.
They figured out he can't shoot. He can't shoot off the ball. Like he don't do anything off the ball.
So we just gonna sag off of you.
Yep.
You just gonna make these simple passes that don't go nowhere.
There was another guard too. I don't know if you remember that Philly drafted a dude named Jared Bayless.
Yeah, I remember him. He came into the league bald, which is
yeah, which was odd, right?
He was more like a combo guard. He was just a guard, but he was kind of undersized, but he was a bucket.
He was like Jalen Suggs ish.
He was a bucket though.
Would shoot. Yeah, I was gonna say if Jalen Suggs would shoot,
because he wasn't scared to put that ball up.
Right. And to be honest with you, if I'm Toronto, why wouldn't I just trade for Jalen Suggs? They wanted him anyway.
Is he from Canada? No. Jalen Suggs is not from Canada. No, he was on Team USA.
Yeah.
Them younger Team USA teams. Oh.
Yeah, that dude.
I don't know if they wanted him because I think. I don't know if they wanted him.
They wanted him. They just wanted Scotty Barnes more. They wanted him from the stuff I saw. They had to you got to make the decision. But then again, he went before Scotty Barnes also.
Yeah. Did he? No, he went.
No, he went after. He went after. I'm sorry.
Masai Ujiri went with the high ceiling player.
He went with the tall guy.
Yeah,
the long,
do
the
a
long
bunch of stuff. Hoping he could be, because it's a wing league. So
yeah.
Freezy, I'm gonna log out, man.
I'm good.
Getting tired.
I'm gonna get some sleep.
Yeah, get some shut.
Man, it's gonna be wild tonight. Once Miami close out Boston,
I don't know if they're gonna close them out. Freezy, I don't know.
I
think they're gonna close them out on at home.
Eric Spoelstra is gonna tell them boys, you can't let Boston win 2 in a row because they can beat us 2 in a row.
Yeah, because they did that to the Sixers.
Yeah. You can't let them get to. Boston can beat any team in this universe 2 times in a row. Anybody. But hey, everybody, thank you for rocking with us. Check out the Blorange Tears newsletter, man. Check out the NBA 101 New York Knicks basketball podcast featuring your main man Uncle Freezy on all your audio podcasting platforms. We'll probably have something coming up soon. Who knows? Maybe we'll talk about should Obi stay or should he go? Something like that. Shout out to Josh Hart and shout out to the chat, man. We'll holler at y'all later, man.
Peace.
Y'all.